Running a successful business means finding the right tools for your team. And as someone who's helped hundreds of businesses grow and scaled two different businesses to seven figures, I've discovered that ClickUp is a powerful platform that delivers incredible value at a fraction of the cost. Forget complicated setups and expensive subscriptions. Whether you're running a small team or scaling fast, I'll show you exactly how we use ClickUp to keep everything flowing smoothly, all while staying on a free plan or as little as $7 a month for unlimited features. And this isn't just another tutorial, this is our blueprint for building a more efficient business. So first you're going to want to visit clickup.com and you're going to see this page. So of course you can get started. It's free. Now here's what the pricing looks like. It's free for personal use. You can use a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about in today's video just with that. And this is going to be $7 per person for small teams. And this is really good when it comes to the storage and the integrations. And then most of you are probably not going to need the business plan, but it is $12 per person if you go for that one. Now at this point, I could show you how to create an account and how to log in, but just to save you a little bit of time, I'm going to skip that part and we're going to get right to the good stuff. Now, before we dive into this, the pros of ClickUp are there's going to be more features in the free plan than most paid platforms. It's also highly customizable when it comes to views and dashboards. There's a built-in document creation feature within the spaces. There's powerful integrations with common software such as Slack and Zapier. There's custom columns for tracking progress, and it's great for cost-effective scaling. Now, the main challenge, ClickUp can feel overwhelming at first. It's going to be more complicated than platforms such as Asana, which is what we started with. Also, the notification system can be a bit much, and you might be tempted to create too many spaces and folders. So my advice is to keep it simple and start small. And the key is understanding what your team needs. But if you're looking for a feature-rich platform that won't break the bank, let's get started. All right, so there's going to be two different things that I'm going to go over because they're big parts of my business. The first one is YouTube operations. So when it comes to YouTube operations, you can use this just like any other project management software. It's totally fine. The board feature is extremely useful because you can drag things from one board to the next, just like this. And then every time it moves from one process to the next, you can have it automatically alert whoever the person needs to be that, to download the video, to edit the video, to make the thumbnail, to do the quality control, et cetera, et cetera. So when it comes to content creation, absolute no-brainer. Use the Kanban board. But what I'm going to focus on today is actually the client success because we really love using ClickUp to keep track of our clients. We help busy business owners grow and make money on YouTube. And in order to get them results, we have to make sure that we are closely tracking their progress. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the client success part here. Then I'm going to click on list on the bottom left. And then on the top, you see we've got the client journey, for renewal, and master list. Now, obviously, this is a replica of what we do. We're not going to show you all of our clients' information, but let's go over these three. So for the client journey, you might have niche selection. Some of our clients come in and they don't have their niches fully selected, or they're not confident about their niche. They're kind of serving a bunch of different niches and a bunch of different types of clients, and they really want to dial that in to make sure they know exactly what their niche is and exactly who they're serving. So we will get them through that part of the process. Now, this client might come in, client two, and they are already past that. They are already very confident about their niche. So they would start off in this column instead. And this is the holy trifecta, which is choosing the title, thumbnail, and intro of a video. And something that's very important, especially when you're taking care of clients, is this term called time to first win. And time to first win is something that was popularized in the software industry, specifically B2B software. This is where you get your client a quick win as fast as humanly possible. And in our case, we want our clients to upload their first video as fast as possible. So that is our first time to first win stat that we check and we track. Now, you might be wondering, how do you actually add a column here? And that's a great question. What you want to do is you want to click on client, right? So we're just going to click on one of the clients, and then we're going to go to client journey and we're going to click here. And then you can add an option. So, in this particular case, I'm going to go time to first win number one. So I'm going to select time to first win number one, first video uploaded. I'm going to add it as an option, and then I'm going to drag it to the top just after niche selection. And if you want to customize it further, you can add colors, etc. I'll go ahead and add a purple color here. And then you just go to the top right and you close it. And then all you do is you just refresh the screen and it pops up right there. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and drag client number two into that column. So next, we're going to talk about the status or the health of a client, because this is something that you really want to track. So with this, you're just going to go ahead and click on the client. And down here, we have a part that says client health. And you can also see we have all of this other information. So it's right there. It's easily attainable, which is great. And when it comes to the client health, you really have three different options, and I guess a fourth option in very weird circumstances. And that is green, yellow, and red. So red would mean this client is not doing well and they're on the verge of quitting, or they're on the verge of refunding, or they're just, they're not happy with the service and they're not getting results. They're frustrated. Yellow would be the client is showing a little bit of frustration, but they probably just need some encouragement, but they're not just completely happy, right? So they're kind of like somewhat neutral. They're showing a little bit of frustration. And then green is good. The client's happy. Every time you've interacted with them, it's been a positive experience, et cetera, et cetera. And every single time somebody interacts with the client, after they interact with them, they should mark the client as green, yellow, and red. Because if a client is showing you that they're not happy, you need to immediately address that and figure out what's wrong, right? So every time one of your customer success managers gets on a call with a client, or if they show up to a live stream, or they interact in a group chat, and they show you that they're not happy for whatever reason, or maybe they're just a little bit frustrated, you should mark it as yellow or red, depending on how bad it is. So I just changed this to yellow, and then I can actually make a comment on the right. So just as an example, let's just say this client was, really freaking out. They weren't happy because they are just overwhelmed with niche selection for whatever reason. And you talk to them and now they're still a little bit frustrated, but they're much happier than that. Great. It goes from red to yellow. And then you can even tag somebody here. And so I'm just going to say @Jasper. And then I'm just going to send a quick message to him. Right? Had a one-on-one talk with the client. They're not as frustrated anymore. And then you just go ahead and click send. And so every time somebody looks at this particular client, they're going to be able to see the conversation thread with the exact dates. They're also going to see whenever the client moves from one column to the next. So if this client were to move from niche selection to time to first win, you're going to see exactly when that is. And this is going to allow you to actually track things like time to first win. So how fast are you getting them to upload their first video? Now, additionally, what you can do here, this actually makes it very easy for your CSM team, is you can go to the top and you can click for renewal. So we basically have the amount of time that the client is in our program for. And once it gets down to about 1 month, they go into a separate board, which is for renewal. And when you click on this client's profile, for instance, it'll say this client has 24 days left. And it'll also tell you what their status is. So did they get results? How happy are they with the program, et cetera, et cetera. And so if someone is green and they have, 24 days left, chances are this person will likely want to either continue in the program, possibly even buy a higher level program, or at the very least, give you a testimonial or case study. Whereas if someone is in yellow, they probably need to be taken care of before somebody asks them for one of those things. All right, so now I'm going to show you inside of my actual ClickUp, and I'm probably going to have to blur like 95% of the screen. Sorry, I can't show the client's names. But here you can see the client's journey, and we actually have the different phases of the content creation process here and what phase they're in. We also have the clients for renewal part, and you can see that most clients are very happy. However, there's one client that's in red. And then these clients haven't been updated. So they're either neutral or they're just relatively happy, or they're kind of clients that don't really contact you that much. You do have clients like that just, use the service, but they don't really contact you all that much. And then we also have a master list of clients as well. And what's really important here is this client handoff form. So this is something that the sales rep actually fills in every single time they make a sale. And this results in a very smooth handoff between your sales team and your client success team. And this is something that's extremely important. If somebody has a really rocky start in the program, they're really going to start off on the wrong foot. And that might result in them not getting results when they would have gotten results if they started off on the right foot. That might also result in them, not liking the program, potentially even refunding. So it's kind of like making a first impression, and you really want to make sure that when it comes to client handoff, you make a good first impression with your client success team. And so we have them fill in all of this. We also have a file down here to drop the contract, which is another great way of keeping track of everything. Now, as you can see, we also have other stuff here. We've got the YouTube operations, the Hummus zone, which is like a marketing team, kind of a weird name. and then recruitment and hiring. But really, the main thing we use this for, and the thing that we found is extremely useful, is the CSM team, making sure that we get clients results and making sure that we track the clients once they're in, and make sure we track every step of the process to make sure that they're moving through and they're moving towards actually getting results. And this is why, if you click the link in the description in the pinned comment below, you'll see that we've gotten a ton of people to 7 and even 8 figures a year with their YouTube channels. And I highly recommend it. To be honest with you, most people in the coaching industry don't really take this type of thing seriously. And in industries that are more mature, such as software, they take this thing extremely seriously. And that's where the coaching industry is headed. So if you want to get ahead of the curve, I highly recommend doing this. So yeah, this is how we use ClickUp. It's a really good tool. It's not as intuitive as other tools such as Asana. Asana is much easier to use. However, if you have somebody on your team who is really organized, like an operations manager like we do, they can set up ClickUp and then train other people how to use it. And you will have much more functionality and much more that you can do with ClickUp. So if you are a busy business owner that's interested in growing and making money on YouTube and figuring out how to implement systems into the content creation and marketing and sales process, then go ahead, click the link down in the description in the pinned comment below and talk to me. And if you want to know how we make 7 figures a year on YouTube, check this video out right here.